When I first heard about the 75 Hard Challenge, I got so excited. Finally, a framework that would work. Or so I thought. It wasn't realistic.
What if I just started my 75 Hard experience?
Had I not started the 75-day challenge, I would have continued to doom scroll on TikTok while I just wondered, what if? What if I did try? What if I did start today? What if I gave it my all? What if embarking on this new journey is going to be what helps me find my new path? I wouldn't have known. I would have kept judging myself for not even trying. I'm proud that I tried. And here's why I think you should too. Because jumping in, taking that risk, taught me more about myself than any perfect streak ever could.
The 75 Hard Cookbook. Key ingredients.
The 75 Hard Challenge has a couple of rules in place. The first is stick to a diet plan, and you have no alcohol during that time, and you also have not a single cheat day. Rule number 2, having daily exercise twice a day for a minimum of 45 minutes, and one of those must be outside. Rule number 3 is simple. Drink a gallon of water a day. Rule 4, read 10 pages of a nonfiction self-help book. Rule 5, have a progress picture every day. And finally, rule 6, if you miss any of these rules, you have to start over again at day 1 and restart your 75 days. This challenge leaves absolutely no room for failure or wiggle room or for life to just happen. Realistically, these 6 rules weren't quite gonna work for what I personally wanted to do and the benefits that I was looking for.
A pinch of reality. Seasoning the rules.
I had a couple rules on my own. Rule 1, consuming 150 grams of protein per day. I didn't have to stick to any specific strict diet, but I was seeing a nutritionist at the time, and they had recommended that 150 grams of protein is what I personally needed every day for my current weight and my current goals that I had. Rule number 2, 30 minutes of movement. This is gonna be things like 30 minutes of a walk, 30 minutes of exercising. Rule number 3, drink 3 water bottles daily. My water bottles are 40 ounces, so I don't know if that's a gallon. I guess I'll have to look that up in editing. Rule 4, 15 minutes of outside time daily. Doesn't have to be exercise, just being outside in the fresh air, preferably in the sunlight when possible. Rule 5, weekly weigh-ins and measurements. I understand that weighing yourself every single day, you don't always see results. So I was like, of course I'll do a second way of tracking this. Measurements will do as well. Rule 6, take my vitamins 3 times per day.
Stumbling through life. My not so perfect streak.
I started strong, fueled by excitement, ready to take on the challenge, and feeling motivated as ever. But then life happens. Add postpartum depression, discovering pregnancy number 2 when my baby was 6 months old, medication change after medication change, and 107-degree heat waves. Trying to win this challenge was like trying to do ballet in a freaking hurricane. At first, all green check marks. I was feeling really good. But as the days went on, I'd slip once or twice. And even though I never really started counting the days over like you're supposed to, it still really hurt to see that there was no progress being marked on my page. 1 missed day, it was fine. Then 3. Then the shame, the blame, and the guilt began to trickle in and began to crush me from the inside. By the end of the first month, my notebook, swear to God, looked like a crime scene from how much red ink was all over the page. Pretty soon, I avoided the notebook altogether. I stopped doing every single part of the challenge instead of just missing 1 or 2 checkpoints. Facing those failures in my notebook, that hurt way more than just giving up and doing nothing.
The unexpected teachings. Lessons learned.
Looking back on it now, I basically designed a complex guilt-generating machine. But the lessons I learned. 150 grams of protein was unsustainable for me. I tried to make too many changes way too fast. This transition to eating more protein is not necessarily something that's going to be easy or cheap. It's something that needs to be taken one bite at a time. Now, some protein's better than none. If I can add a little cottage cheese in my eggs in the morning, boom, that's extra protein that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Add some Greek yogurt to my taco instead of sour cream. That's a little more protein and a little less fat while still having the same meal. When I'm grocery shopping, seek out leaner meats. 93% ground beef is going to be better than 80 any day when it comes to the protein versus fat macros. This rule lived and died by my Samsung watch. That little neon heart gave me life every time I saw it light up at the end of the day. That was until 25 minutes of walking didn't count because the stroller wasn't registering that I was actually moving since my hands were stationary. My body knew that I moved and I knew I felt better, but my brain convinced me that I failed because I didn't see that little watch icon light up by the end of the day. My watch kept saying, not enough, but my body was saying, great job for doing some movement. I've learned that it's okay to do small bites of fitness where you can and when you can, especially when you can't do an entire workout regimen every day. Some days I wouldn't move at all. I would sit on the couch, wouldn't feel well, and would just call it good. But realistically, at the end of the day, I never felt better. I always felt worse, and it compounded over time. Now, grocery store walks, 10-minute stretches, it all counts. Taking small bites of fitness is better than what I was doing some days. Chugging water, making sure I did 3 bottles a day, I became a dizzy, irritable water balloon. Water intoxication is real. Don't just blindly drink a gallon of water a day if it's too much for your body. Listen to your body and drink when you're thirsty. A liquid IV or some other type of electrolyte drink also should count towards your water goals. Now, if I'm not thirsty, I'll put the bottle down. Beautiful in theory. Go outside, enjoy the warm breeze, look at all the pretty flowers, and just smell all the fragrance in the air. It was something I was really looking forward to doing every day. The reality though, being outside in 107-degree weather, no bueno. In fact, it's torture. For me, this challenge started in the middle of summer. Of course, I didn't even consider what the temperature outside might be. Now, if I can get outside, great. If I can't, I open the blinds, crack a window, and let in the morning breeze before it gets hot. I found that letting in natural light and fresh air would often be enough to help me feel better and get me out of a rut. Sure, I would love to go outside, especially if it was nice weather. But sometimes you just gotta work with what is. I continuously stepped on the scale with no changes. And even my measurements didn't seem to fluctuate, and that was when I could remember where the measuring tape was. Half the time, it was gone. But they had this little machine that we would hold to measure what my lean muscle mass was, what my fat percentage was. My muscle mass was climbing while my fat was melting away. On the scale, it happened to balance itself out, so there was no way for it to know. Progress isn't always visible. Sometimes progress is silent, but still happening. My scale obsession blinded me to the real progress that was being made. Track progress differently, or don't track it at all. Now, I measure joy. Do I have more energy? Do I feel stronger? For me, the scale ended up just being another tool to judge myself with. Give yourself grace. Missing a day doesn't erase any of the progress that you did on a previous day. We had the prenatals, Wellbutrin, iron supplements, melatonin, and that is just to name a few. Learning to be okay with taking my medications not first thing in the morning or later on in the day when I forget ended up being crucial because sometimes life gets in the way. For example, I forgot today, so once I'm done recording this video, I'm gonna run to the kitchen and go take them. 3 doses of vitamins a day became self-sabotage. At first, I only forgot my lunchtime dose, but eventually I would just forget randomly. Lunchtime pills are officially no longer. I just scooted them over and grouped them into either the mornings or the nights, so it's a lot less to remember. Even lumping some of those morning pills in the evening, like my vitamin D, is better than not taking it at all. Of course, I wouldn't suggest necessarily taking your nighttime meds in the morning, like melatonin, because that could end badly.
The last bite. Final thoughts on the 75 Hard Challenge.
Success isn't 75 perfect days. It's showing up for yourself again and again. If it's messy, if it's hard, and if you're feeling unmotivated. Life isn't about getting it right. It's about challenging yourself because that's how we grow as humans. If you take too big of a bite and burn yourself out, that just means that you learned how big of a bite you can personally handle. Next time, take smaller bites because progress isn't perfection. Nothing's ever perfect. Take the risk. Push your boundaries. If you don't, you'll never learn more about yourself. So, if you failed the fitness challenge just like I did, ask yourself, who are you really competing against? society standards, a TikTok trend, or just life.
Yeah, mommy's so funny, huh?
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you're notified the next time we take a bite out of fitness together.